What up, though? This is Kurt Steele, and welcome to Free for All Friday, right here with Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. Hey, we have our crew here today. All of four of us are the primary hosts for this show. We got my man Jim Bordeaux, we got Rachel Marie Sports, and who? Coach Mike Jones. But first, let me address something. Ladies and gentlemen, we had some misunderstandings and people really didn't get that we do a premiere, which is a pre-recorded show versus a live show on Friday. So Jimbo G, my man, hey, I appreciate you making a donation to the show. And we're going to be hosting a mock draft, and the donations from that will go to sparkforautism.org. So, and that is a organization that my family and I belong to. My son, Curtis III, as everyone knows, and I've been wearing the shirts all month long for Autism Acceptance. We belong to that organization in our local chapter here in North Carolina, but they have the a nationwide chapter. So it's sparkforautism.org. You can go over there and make your donations for autism awareness and autism acceptance, and they do a wonderful research over there at Spark as well, and they provide a myriad of services for individuals with autism. Hey, but we appreciate you guys coming in and doing that. So Jimbo G, I apologize, I didn't get to your comment. Kurt, I'm not in the premieres a lot. I'm with my family, I'm with my son most of the times, and it's just not feasible for a lot of times for me to be in the chat in the middle of the day. But I appreciate you, Jimbo G, my man. Thank you again for what you guys do. Hey, I'm going to turn it over to the host with the most, Mr. Jim Bordeaux.
Hey, everybody. What's up for Free for All Friday? We got Rachel Marie Sports in here. What's up, Rachel?
Not much. As usual, just happy to sit down and talk some Lions with you guys on a kind of dreary Friday morning here.
Oh, that's not good. What up, Coach Mike?
What's going on? I'm happy to be here. I think this is my first Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, and then my main man himself, the man of steel, Kurt Steele.
Oh, so I gotta do it again. What up, though? Welcome to the show, people. You know who we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors, and it is Free for All Friday. But as always, you know what you guys to do. You guys do what? Join the family. Subscribe to the channel, because we don't have fans. We don't have viewers. We got family, and it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Hey, Jim, let's get this thing started
right now.
Let's go.
It's Detroit Lions talk, baby. Hey, I had to, man. I had to.
Oh no, you good. You're good. Right. I just got to bring up the video. That's the. All right, everybody. Kurt, can you give us a roll call in the chat? Who's here? And we don't do this on the regular show, but we want to see who's in the chat and recognize those people who are here already.
Of course, you know, we got Tristan Williams. He is a friend of the page. He helps us with some of our social media. You know, a lot of times, you know, we got the Derns in the building. We got Big West Kevin and you know, we have the queen of the Prowl, Miss Valerie Bordeaux. We got John Robinson. We got Kurt Romero. We got a ton of people in the building. Hopefully we get some more Sub-Z Trap City Boys Entertainment. I mean, I love that name. I mean, come on.
Good name.
I mean, for real,
Good
for
name.
real. I mean, and we got a friend of the show who's always representing from the Asian Pacific area, Samoa themselves. So that's who we got in the chat right now.
Right.
Everyone,
Kazoo, man, and my friend the Dern. Got a couple other people in here that's coming in. Theodore Kerr, Brian Stover, John Robinson. How's Will? Just kidding.
King SJ is in the building.
In the building. That's awesome. We got a whole bunch of people here. We're going to start it out with questions this week. We're going to do it a little bit differently this week. So our first question for the panel, if I could bring it up, that would be great. In an article by Pride of Detroit website, they said PFF rates the Detroit Lions the worst pre-draft roster in the NFL. What do you think about that, Kurt?
I can't say it's a lie. I can't say it's the truth either, but I can't say it's a lie. I mean, I'm looking at the roster. China J and I discussed this on about the wide receiver room too. That was being rated as the worst in the league. I can't say that it's great because we know the roster, sucks. But how much of that for last season was the roster, and how much of it was coaching? How much, especially on defense, how much of it was a bad scheme? You know what I'm saying? So, coaching. I really can't. So I can't say it's a lie, but I can't say it's the truth. You guys can understand what I'm saying. But it's possible. Well, I hate to be indecisive like that, but I can't say wholeheartedly 100%. Because of the turnover and with the new coaches, the roster may be better than what we think it is, or it may be worse.
Might be. We drink a lot of Kool-Aid here. I just want to give a shout out to Brian Stover. Hello from Sheboygan. Hello, Big Detroit. Big Will. What up, Doe?
What up, Doe?
Tristan Williams has a question, but we're going to go through our questions. Can you please save your questions till the end this time, because we're going to get to them, but just please save them to the end.
Right.
All right, we're going to go to Big Mike. What do you think about this? Do you think the roster is the worst in the NFL? PFF thinks so.
You can't disagree with him. Just being real. When you look at the cheap free agents that we got, the people that left, all the stars on offense left besides the tight end and the running back. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, you can't really say, oh, well, these guys are gonna fit here and these guys, because we don't know. So since the hands are kind of thrown up at, I don't know, it might be good, might be bad.
I get it.
You gotta, just take it, go with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So what do you think, Rachel Marie Sports? What do you think about the question?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm actually a little bit surprised that we were rated as the worst roster via PFF. I personally do think there's a couple teams that are heavily competing with us for that spot. But that's where their numbers put us, and that's where their numbers put us. Somebody in the chat made a great point already. At this point, there's a lot of prove it out there, a lot of 1-year deals, a lot of people that are trying to get paid for the next season. So we say this so many times over and over again, but on paper is a totally different thing than on the field. I mean, we have players leave us all the time, go somewhere else and succeed. Why can't that be some of these players coming here? So it's really neither here nor there how they rank our roster for me, pre-season, before we even get to see the product on the field. I feel like it's neither here nor there. Could be the truth, just like all you guys said, but it's not something that's overly concerning for me, considering we just don't know. We don't know until they're out there.
Right. In some ways, this is a good thing. Hate to say it, but if we're going to get a high draft pick next year, that would be great to combine with the other first round pick we got. We're going to build this thing through the draft, and I like that idea. Is PFF right? The national media hates us. I mean, we got to admit that. That's one of the things we got to live with every single year. But in my book, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm looking at 2023 being the year we break out, not 2021. So let's go to the next one. Going to this next question now, and it's Daniel Jeremiah said that there are teams outside the top 10 that are looking to trade up for Kyle Pitts. If Pitts is there at 7, thinking he's a generational talent, trying to pair him with TJ Hawkinson, do you take the trade or do you take the player? Kurt, go with you first.
Oh, I'm trading that pick, man.
You're trading the pick. Give me a reason. Give me the reason.
I want more capital. I just want more capital. I think that we can get what a player that we need, or something that we can, really is going to, as far as help build the trenches of this team later on in that first round. So if he's there at 7, that means somebody else that we want is probably as a couple of picks down from us as well. So, maybe was it Tevin Jenkins or, Rashawn Slater, one of those guys may be there, and we'd be able to build those trenches with that pick. So I don't think he's going to be there, but if so, I say trade back, because somebody's going to be willing to give up a whole hill of beans for that guy right there.
I like this comment for Chris Mitchell. He says, DC Dan Campbell wants us to be underestimated, underdog mentality. I like that. I actually think that's true.
Yeah.
But Mike, what do you think about this? If Kyle Pitts is there, do you take the player or do you take the trade?
I'm with Kurt. We have to do this the right way, and that is build through the trenches. And a team is willing to empty their pockets for Kyle Pitts. Okay, so you hold him for ransom. You get that draft capital. Maybe it's this year, maybe it's next year, maybe it's spread in both years, but you can't underestimate draft capital right now. Even if it was a tackle there at that spot, you got to trade it, man. Draft capital is everything right now.
Totally agree there. I got to say that I agree with that. Pitts could be a generational player. I don't know, but the amount of holes that we have in this team, like we just said in the question before, PFF gives us like the worst roster in the NFL. We have to improve that. And how are you going to do that? More draft capital. Totally believe that. What do you think about this question, Rachel?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to find disagreement with anybody on the panel here. I'm definitely about the draft capital as well. You have to make it make sense. I agree with you, Jim, as well. Pitts may be a generational talent. In fact, he probably is, but we have so much that we need on this roster. And like Mike said, that starts with the trenches. I mean, if you don't have a line, then what? I mean, yeah, he's going to bring blocking to the table, but other than that, there's just too much that we need to value one player over more draft capital and more holes being filled. I mean, I just don't see any way around that.
Yeah,
I like Big Wes Kivenen's comment here. He says it depends on what the offer is. I agree with that too.
Yeah,
it is, because he is a good player.
It's gonna be a hard, because somebody gonna want him really bad,
right?
Like Dallas,
just like Dallas. Because we can dough grease Dallas for a whole bunch to get Kyle. To get Kyle Pitts.
Might be able to hold them for ransom like we did with Roy Williams,
And the other thing is that the fact that it's not like people say, y'all, and I've said this over time. You say draft capital, but it's just capital, because you can use those picks to trade for a player once we get this cap situation fixed.
Right.
I mean, you can. I mean, look at how the Rams got Jalen Ramsey. I mean, or so you can get those picks, and I'm like, hey, hey, about 4-5 first round picks in a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna look pretty good.
I won't mind that.
You know what?
I wouldn't mind that.
All we gotta say is this: Calvin Johnson didn't help us win a playoff game. It didn't help us. So Pitts, even though I like you, gotta get traded, bro.
Yeah, gotta get that draft capital. DMAP Zoom, hey, what's up, DMAP Zoom? We got many holes on this team. Yes, we do. If we can get a trade back, do it. I think we can get a trade back, but we'll see how that goes. All right, next question. Fansided stated that there is a real chance that quarterback Mac Jones might be the best available at pick 7. I laughed too, Kurt. I really did. I couldn't believe this. Would you take Mac Jones at number 7, thinking he's the best player available?
Somebody else answer this question first.
Yes.
I'm still laughing. I'm sorry. Mac Jones is the best player.
You know what? I'm gonna be the devil's advocate, so I think I should go last.
Okay, the devil can go last. Oh, the advocate for the devil. Sorry,
Rachel, what you got? Because
he can't stop laughing. So.
I mean, I've said this before. I'm not for a quarterback at 7 at all. I just don't feel like I feel like we've got the time, and if your guy isn't there, which I guarantee my two favorite quarterbacks are not going to be there, so I'm not going to use that pick on who I feel like would be the next best guy, or in this instance, the next best guy. It's just that's not what I'm looking for at 7. I know there's like a lot of concern around the 2022 quarterback class, but it seems like somebody comes out of the woodwork every year. I mean, we weren't talking about Zach Wilson last year. We're talking about him this year because of this past season. And you just gotta think that that's going to happen with somebody else. So I'm not sitting there looking at Mac Jones at 7 and saying, "Oh, that's the best player available." It's just that's a no from me.
I gotta say this because I'm gonna lose track in the chat if I don't. Draft picks are only worth. This is Steve-O was saying this. Draft picks are only worth something if we make the right pick. 10 picks are doing us nothing if we don't draft the players that are going to help the team. I'd rather get the impact player. So he's against us on this one. So that's interesting for me. Valerie says trade back to 20, which is the Bears. We're not doing that.
Sorry, Val.
We're not doing that.
No.
We're not doing that.
Okay, I'm ready now.
Are you ready now?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Now. Okay. There is no way on God's green earth or at HE double hockey sticks that I'm taking Mac Jones at 7. There's no way that I'm taking him. I wouldn't draft him if he was the 30th pick in the first round. Mac Jones is not a guy that I want. We got a Mac Jones. His name's Jared Goff. I mean, I'm just sorry. I wouldn't take a Mac. I wouldn't take Mac Jones. But not at 7, man. That's
right.
It's just I don't see it. I don't see it. Mac Jones. Yeah. I don't even see him being the best player available in the top 10. I mean, just to be honest with you. I mean, unless a team is really starving. I mean, they got to be hungry. I mean, they got to be rib showing hungry to go up into to get him in the top 10. And there just may be one team out there. And I'm not sold on San Francisco taking him at up in that draft.
I'm not either.
I'm thinking they're going Fields. I'm just to be honest with you. If Fields is there,
going Fields as well. That's what I feel like as well. Even though. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of smoke screen up there, to be honest.
Yeah.
I really do. Okay, Mike, you're last. What you got, buddy?
I'm about to weigh in on this. This is a 2-part question, okay? So the first part is, Kurt, come on, man. You gotta take that box. Okay, so look, so this is all right. The first part of this question is Mac Jones the best available at 7? And he could be. Because if you think about it, Mac Jones has played in every big game in in one of the 2 best conferences in college football. So you take that experience, and you say, hey, he has to be more talented than, let's say, Trey Lance, just because of the opposition he's faced. He's been in every big time game for the last couple years, so when they say he might be the best at 7, he might be. I mean, and that's only if the first 3 quarterbacks are off the board, Pitts is off the board, then, okay, he might be. I'm just going to say that. He may not be everybody's favorite, pick, but when you get a guy and all that big game experience, I mean, you can't, he's a West Coast system quarterback. Let's not get us wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it would have to be the fit. It would have to be the team, the fit. If he goes with a team with a fast break offense, he's going to bomb out. He's going to be, but if he goes to that hand it off, play action, give it to the, which we are trying to be, I can see why they say that. Now, would I take him at number 7? Hell no. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. But I just understand where it's coming from. I understand what they're saying because they're saying you don't know how talented the quarterback class is gonna be in the future. So I'm not gonna shoot the comment down. I look at it sideways, like, but I'm not gonna shoot it down.
if he's the best available at 7, that means a lot of guys that you're talking about. All the top receivers are gone. Sewell's gone. The other quarterbacks are gone, and then we're coming in at 7. I picked Patrick Surtain at 7 before I picked Mac Jones at 7.
Yeah, and there's only 6 picks, so come on now. I don't think there's any way he's the best player available.
Yeah,
I mean that's just me.
Mac Jones, his big game experience is being underplayed, even though he's with that dominant front of Alabama. It's still like he did play in those games.
Okay, what's the guy's name? I'm thinking of the last Alabama quarterback that's been successful in the NFL. Let me think. Joe Namath.
Yeah.
That's the last
a little while, almost as long as we won
Justin Fields, Stabler.
But Justin Fields,
we're talking about Alabama quarterback. So
what's Ohio State quarterback? So you might want to stay away from both of them then, really.
True.
I preach that all the time. I don't trust Nan Nutter would have his quarterbacks in the NFL. Not a Nan Nutter. Ohio State or Alabama. I think the closest that you maybe get right now that's in the league right now is maybe the fellas that's down there in Philly. But he came from. Actually, he changed systems and went to Oklahoma. And I don't trust a lot of those quarterbacks out of Oklahoma either.
Right.
You look at Oregon.
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Noam?
Yeah.
Noam's
I understand the premise. I mean, if he's there at 7, maybe somebody would become willing to come up and trade for him. I don't know who the hell would do that, but it may be somebody who would. I mean, but it is what it is.
The next question is, what do you have as the win range for this team pre-draft? We'll do this again when it's post-draft, but for pre-draft, what is the ceiling and the bottom for the Lions wins next year? Keep in mind, 17-game season, everybody. Start with Kurt.
We thought start with me. All right, so for me, 6 to 7 games is the ceiling. 3 games is the floor. So anywhere between 3 and 7 games.
3 and 7. Okay.
Yep. Between 3 and 7 games.
What do you got, Mike?
Before the draft, I would say 5 or 6 wins. If we get that right tackle, and if we get a game time receiver, then it could go up to maybe 7 or 8, but right now 5 or 6.
5 to 6. We got 4 and 13. We got 3 to 5 wins. We've got 7 top, 4 bottom. That's actually pretty good. It's a tough schedule. 3 wins. Samoa's got them at 9 and 7.
Yeah,
they might have to have a tie in there because we got that 17 game thing going on. So
but,
we have another special guest today. Dose of Dion. What's up, bud? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm sorry, my bad.
It's little big brother.
You just woke up, didn't you?
No, I didn't wake up.
You didn't wake up, so you're still asleep.
I did wake up. Well, I might be. No, I was working on my draft stuff, and I looked at my phone. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, I totally forgot, bro. I'm so sorry. My bad. My bad, guys. I appreciate you guys having me on still."
No, it's fine.
You know, it's all love, baby. It's family, man. You know, you always are welcome. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Mahomes Jr.
Yeah,
it's peer pressure. I was like, they keep bringing it up. I got to get the haircut now. So
you did too, didn't you? You just got the haircut, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, got it yesterday, man.
Hey, man.
All right, so we're going through
this.
There. And the question is, as the team is constituted right now, it's pre-draft.
Okay.
What is your win range for this team? Like mine is 5 to 7 wins, somewhere in there. Your bottom and then your ceiling. So we'll go to who hasn't answered this yet.
Rachel hasn't answered. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to Rachel next, then we'll go to Dion.
Sounds good.
I think I'm gonna. Pre-draft, I'm going to put their ceiling at 7 wins. Also, how annoying is it that, like, there's no 500, like an 8-8 anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's so annoying. Anyways,
It kind of is.
Either winning or you're losing.
I'm like, there's no like you're completely average. You're either a loser or a winner. You're right. But I mean, just, not being able to say 500 anymore. I mean, I guess you can, but like statistically speaking, how do they really hit that besides having a tie, Anyways, sorry, I digress. I'm putting their ceiling at 7 wins, and I'll put their floor. I still think they're not gonna. I think they'll win at least 3 games, even pre-draft. If they lost, God, 15 games, I would be surprised, honestly.
Okay. All right. In the chat, KZoo man says, I want to see some action first before I say how many games they win. And I understand that. It's basically for fun. We're going to do it again after the draft, after we got, and then we're going to have the free agency when everybody cuts everybody and we get probably get some players out of that too. Dan, what do you see for this team pre-draft right now? What's your ceiling and floor for this team right now?
Man, that's tough. I guess I'd say my ceiling because, I got to be the optimistic one. I don't know. What was the highest number we got in here so far?
7.
7? Okay, we'll say 8. So, so I'll say 8. Yeah. I don't know where those are coming from. I don't know. I think if the run game could get going like I'm hoping it will, and maybe we can control the ball really well, and the coaches get the best out of the defense. Like, we're going to need some major improvement, though, defensively from a lot of these spots. I'm talking, like, heavy in the secondary. Okuda needs a big jump. Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot. And then even the rookies, obviously, they're rookies. I would say then the floor would probably be somewhere around, maybe like 3, like Rachel said, because it could be tough. I mean,
if the wheels fall off.
Yeah, I mean, if this was the same team last year and we just took Stafford off, we probably would have won like 2 games, maybe like 1 or 2. So,
man,
yeah,
hopefully.
Dag, I got a couple of things here. I got Dag the Gear who says Lions pick number 7, a surprise unknown. Dion Mahomes says,
yeah, Mahomes.
That's what I was
Noah's
laughing
Jay
at.
with the $5 super chat. He says 2-15. Sorry, pre-draft, too many holes. I got to agree. It's not looking great. PFF agrees with you, no. He said we have the worst roster in the NFL. So, Okay. So everybody answered that question, right? So we're going to try to get to the next one. Let me switch this up here. This is a really tough question. I know it's going to be difficult for everyone, but how do you determine best player available for your draft board? How do you, because we have offensive tackles, we have weapons, we have quarterbacks. Out of all those people, how do you determine best player available? We'll start with Kurt because then everybody can answer what he says.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking at my draft board, right? So, and I have to give Luke D some credit because he did, kind of explain. And I was like, I kind of agree with that kind of thinking. So you look at your draft board, you look at the players that are on that board and who you have on your board, and it's kind of based on the best guy at that position and how he fits your team and the need that he can fill on your team. So. If you look at, and I'm still gonna go with this, and some people say it's too high for him at 7, but I look at Rashawn Slater. Even in the people's like Penei Sewell, but I look at Rashawn Slater. Right, he is one of the best tackles in the draft. You look at his RAS score, good 40 time, great on the bench press. His measurables are just as good as Sewell's, especially the arm length. They say, oh, his arms are too short. But if you think Penei Sewell's that great, their arm length isn't that much difference, right? So I look at that. Then let me look at the intangibles. Let's look at where he's played in college, right? So we know he ended his career at left tackle, right? He spent 3 years at right tackle. What do we want? What do we need? We need a right tackle, right? I know a guy that I can plug him in at right tackle, and then say if the big fella goes down, Taylor Dicko, we can just swing him on the left tackle and put in a right tackle right there as maybe Crosby. So he fits my best player available based on his fit for the team and what we need for the roster.
Absolutely. No, totally agree with that. I love this. KZoo man says, if this is just for fun, the Lions will win the Super Bowl. I'm like, all right.
So I mean, but
Take
that's
another drink of the Kool-Aid. All right.
But if you look at that, what the best fit is for the team based on the position and how that player has played throughout his college career.
That makes perfect sense. That does. What do you think, Big Mike? The coach, Big Mike, actually a coach. So we got to get your input.
Yeah. So did you say the best pick available or the best Lions pick?
No, the best
like
player
if you
available.
were running the
Best
Lions,
player? Okay.
right?
Yeah.
What would be the criteria for best player available on your draft board? Put it that way.
The criteria would be the offensive lineman. Right tackles. I would have three right tackles on my board. And I would have Slater, I would have Mayfield, and I would have Jenkins. Okay. And and depending on where I was in the draft, I would take one of those. And it really all depends on if I'm staying at 7. If I'm staying at 7, then I gotta take Slater. I can't take Sewell, even though he might not be there, just because he's a left tackle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of drafting a guy in the top 10 and changing his position. I'm totally against that. I was against it when I did Frank Ragnow. Okay? And
they did.
So I'm against that, man. So that's why I would stay away from Sewell, and I would take Slater over Sewell. So
wow.
The only thing about that, Mike, is that actually Frank Ragnow did play guard in college. He played guard before he played center. So he was interchangeable in the interior. That's why I said Slater, because he played right tackle, so you can swing him over, and he's played both tackle positions. He's kind of that ambidextrous tackle, that can play right or left. Yeah. So I understand what you're saying. Hey, we got Latino Leo. Latino Leo is a new member. So we got the Latino Leo is a new member. So we appreciate you joining the channel and becoming a member. We will check later to see where you're going to fit on the Wall of Fame.
Yes, we'll have that Wall of Fame up next week, or Monday. It'll be up Monday. So, all right. Let's go with Rachel Ramis. You know what? If I could talk, that would be a great thing. Rachel Ramis Sports, what do you think about this question? What is your criteria for, best player available?
Are we? Uh-oh. Everybody dropped out for a second. All the screens were frozen.
We just weren't moving, waiting for you.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't say anything.
Oh,
we're all just waiting.
They actually dropped out. They had little rotating symbols.
Oh, that's not good.
For me, if I'm what I think of the best player available, like what I'm looking for in that player, and I actually really liked this question when you put it in the chat before the show. I'm looking for a few things. Number one, an immediate starter, somebody that is going to start right now from the draft. He's on the field, but also that he's going to be an immediate impact as well. Not that he can just start, but that he's an immediate improvement to whatever position group. For instance, we continue to use offensive linemen or offensive tackles. As long as you're upgrading that group immediately with an immediate starter, I think you're heading in the right direction. I think you also want to pick someone who has a team-friendly personality, who's coachable.
There you go.
I think there's a lot of questionable talented athletes that we see come through the draft. But when we were on the show last week with Mathbomb, he made some great points as far as like character issues and now that you're rebuilding, is it really something that you want to take on, or do you want to take on somebody that from day one has a great attitude, is here to contribute, is here to show you what he's got? I think to sum it all up, what I look for is maybe a player that you're looking at him right now thinking, I hope that he can spend his career here. Maybe you're looking at someone that you are thinking you want to sign outside of their rookie contract.
That's amazing. That was a great answer,
Good.
Rachel.
I
That
love
really
that
was.
answer. That was really great.
What you got, Dion? What is your criteria for best player available on your draft board?
What she said. No.
Okay.
no.
Right, moving on. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that was a good point. I like the point about the, longer than 4 years. Your plan is to draft them. You want to re-sign them. Like he said, that's something I would definitely, look at there. And of course, you got to figure out their personality. I'm going to take a little bit from two answers here because you guys obviously are all in the offensive tackle training. I completely get that. I think it's kind of interesting. So we talk about wanting to get an impact player this year. I was doing some of these numbers last night. 2 nights ago, actually. And I was kind of looking at the offensive tackles drafted the last couple of years and just how they performed year one. And it's been very difficult, even in the first 2 rounds, to find offensive tackles that have outperformed a guy like Terrell Crosby. So I was like, okay, I'm still on the tackle train. Actually, I'm really liking Tevin Jenkins now that I'm watching him. So, I really like that guy. But it's kind of interesting. So I was thinking, okay, he may not give you the immediate impact if you as you would want him to, right? If Crosby wins that role, but it still wouldn't be a bad thing because it could definitely open up year 2, and then next year I wouldn't have to be asking a rookie tackle to start. And if he's not ready, then we just have a weak spot on the right side of the offensive line. We don't have any other options. That's a tough spot to be in. So it's kind of like a win-win, right? If he takes the role, great. Now you have great depth with Crosby. If he can't take the role, awesome. He can sit. He could probably slide into guard depending on who you draft if you need him to. And it's just good to have depth on the offensive line. I mean, we saw last year we need depth everywhere. So I like the offensive tackle idea. I really do. I'm really getting on Tevin Jenkins, but I would also kind of throw the analytics side out there, like kind of look at what positions take time to develop. So like if I'm looking at cornerback, I could see drafting cornerback knowing that second year is probably going to blow up, not necessarily the first year. So I want to rely on a rookie next season to step in and have a big role.
I agree with that. In my criteria, though, I have a lot of different things. Does he fit our scheme? Does he fit what we want to do as a team? Does he fit in the locker room? We know the personalities and the people. That has to make sense, too, because a cohesive team wins more games. They just do, and especially offensive linemen. They have to be a solid, 5-man working together type thing. You can't have dissension and all that kind of thing. So there's that. There's character. It does play a part for me. It's not the begin all end all, depending on what the situation is. But I'll tell you what, I think that for me, I like Rashawn Slater. I think he could go in and fit in that right tackle position. But to Dion's point, I think it's a no-brainer just because we have a 3-year window. And so that's why I would love to take Slater. If Sewell falls and Slater's there, I take Slater instead of Sewell. That's just me.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta give a shout out to my man. You know who he is, the Doctor.
Dr. Detroit.
He's always in.
Always in. All right, next question. Fan Nation All Lions said the Lions might choose Slater over Sewell. I think we just did this. If you had to choose one of them, which do you choose and why? We're going to start with Kurt. We already know your answer, so we'll go. No, I'm just kidding.
You already know it. I mean, Slater, he played 3 years started 3 years at right tackle already. He doesn't have to work at becoming a right tackle because he's already been there.
Absolutely. What do you got, Mike? Mike, you're muted or something's going on.
Yeah. Slater. I'm taking Slater all day long.
Taking Slater all day long.
Yeah,
we got a super chat.
Long.
Miles Gibbs says, I like Sewell or Slater. I'm happy with Jenkins too. I don't think would go wrong. O-line build for sure. So he wants the O-line built. I agree with him, by the way. Everybody picking Slater, or is anybody dissenting on this? I don't want to. You are Rachel. Rachel, come on now.
Yeah, I'm still taking Sewell, and for me, it is truly based on the fact, and just kind of throwing it back to the last question. This is a clear need, but then if I'm also trying to pick best player available, to me, that's still Sewell. And I know that we might be playing him out of position compared to Slater having the experience at right tackle. But, God, you just watch Sewell, and I'm like, I don't think you move him and he fails. I just don't see that being the case. I really think that this is a guy that's going to have a seriously successful career no matter where you're playing him on any team in the NFL. And it's all the more impressive to me because just of his accomplishments at his age as well. I really think like the more he grows just as a person and in age, the better he's going to be. And I find it very, very hard to pass up on that opportunity to kind of like grow him into his full potential.
Now, Steve-O says, I'm taking Sewell as my future left tackle. He could play left tackle. He could play right tackle. Dion, do you have anything different to add on this one?
I guess, we've seen a lot of college players, they step in, and when they're that talented, they put them right to left tackle. They take the blind side, even if they played a different tackle spot in high school. So for a guy like Sewell, I mean, I would probably, I would have those pre-draft, talks and be like, hey, what if we moved you to right tackle? Like how comfortable would you be? Like, honestly,
Sure.
Don't just tell me you could play everything. Like, honestly, would you be fine with that? Because moving Decker isn't necessarily something I'd want to do after he just played really well and got the extension.
I agree with that too. I wouldn't move him either.
I mean, I'll say this, now there are reports that Sewell is working out at right tackle right now, because to be honest with you, how many teams are, saying most teams have a solidified left tackle right now in the league. So, it may be a point wherever he goes, he's going to maybe play right tackle. It's just, maybe.
Sure.
This was a good one that Theodore Carrer said, and he said, "Did anyone mention injury history when drafting?" And I should have.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Jim.
What's wrong with me, man? I think of Kerryon Johnson when I think of this question there.
I like
Right.
that.
Anybody else think? What are your thoughts on injured players or players with injury history?
They fit right in with what the Lions do. I mean, that's what we do, man. We draft, sign. I mean, we hire. I mean, I'm sure that someone in the front office has had a torn ACL.
That's crazy. That's some crazy stuff, Kurt.
Oh gosh.
But it's like, okay, so I got another one, and this is one that wasn't on the questions, but I'm just going to ask it. What do you think the chances are that we do actually get a trade down? I mean, we talk about this every year, and it never happens. I mean, we never trade down in our first round. I think we're going to be able to trade down in later rounds, but I don't think we're going to be able to trade trade down from 7.
I just don't see it. For some reason, I think we're going to be picking at 7. For some reason, I just don't see it unless somebody falls that's like a really big name in those top 10, top 6 guys before us. Like we said, if Pitts falls or something like that, which I really don't see happening, I don't see us trading back because I don't see it where there's going to be a name that's going to be that big at 7 that's still on the board that someone was going to want to come up and grab.
Yeah, I think. What do you think, Mike? What do you think? Can we trade back? Is it going to happen? What do you think?
Can we trade back?
Yeah.
I think with Brad Holmes, John Dorsey, and Ray Agnew, I think we are going to trade back. I think we're going to go. I think we're going to go back. I don't think we're going to go forward. I think we're going to go back. Only way I go forward is if some magically reason Trevor Lawrence fell in the draft like number 5, then I'm trading up. But
then I'm trading
unless that happens, then
that is not going to happen. But anyway,
you know what though? Somebody there now. I don't know who the hell these people are. They gotta be crack smokers. But there's some guys out there saying that Justin Fields is going to go number 1.
No,
I don't think so. How can you pass him up to draft Lawrence? I'm like, who the hell are you?
Valerie has a question for you, Kurt.
What's up?
What's in your Kool-Aid today?
Man, it's Friday joy. It's free for all Friday, man. I gotta have fun talking about Detroit, the Lions. It's just free for all Friday, so it's always gonna be fun, baby. On a free for all Friday.
All right, Rachel, what do you think? Do you think we're going to get the opportunity to trade back, that it's actually going to happen? That's a tough one for me, but
I'm laughing at Valerie's comment because that's definitely my one cat that's shut in the room. He's like, hello. Sorry about that. He's very loud. I really think it depends on who's still there. I mean, if somebody in front of us doesn't make the picks that we're predicting them to make, and one of these quarterbacks is still there, I could totally see a trade back being an absolute. But I'm kind of with Kurt on that one too. I just kind of feel like I have this feeling like we're all like, oh yeah, you know, Brad Holmes and Ray Agnew and John Dorsey, they're in the front office, so we're totally trading back, and then we're standing pat at 7 and the Lions pick us in and we're all like, what? All right.
Oh, for me, it's like I think that Brad Holmes isn't used to having a first-round pick, so I'm pretty sure that he ain't going to know what to do with it. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, Dosa Dion, what do you think about this question? Do you think we can trade down, or I mean, because we talk about this every year and it never happens.
That's what I'm saying. Last year we had so many rumors and I was getting hype. I was like, oh, we're moving back and getting Okuda. We didn't move at all. He's like, yeah, we got no offers. How do you get no offers? You're sitting at 3.
No one wants to talk to Bob Quinn. Oh.
That might be what it is.
Man, who the hell was calling the guy with a baseball bat at the NFL draft? I don't know who called that guy either.
They scared of him, man. He was taking kneecaps before then. Man, you got to speak it to an existence, I think, at this point. We just got to keep pushing it, and hopefully it happens. I think there's going to be offers there. I think there's too many teams that are going to want something. Like, I think there's a lot of teams that – I look at Washington, and I think he's willing to move far back. You know, like you said, not having all those first-round picks, I think he'd be willing to move far back and take future picks to allow these teams to keep theirs for this year.
I think so, too.
I hope he can trade back. Yeah, I hope it happens. I could see him just saying, all right, we'll just take all these future picks from you. You can keep your picks, and we'll just have like 20 picks next season.
Micah Parsons is kind of he's kind of a lightning rod lately. They said we were connected to him and all this other stuff. What do you think about Micah Parsons? I mean, the off-field issues, everything has to be included. What do you think about Micah Parsons? And I'm going to start with you, Kurt. Do you think we should take him if at 7? If he's there, I mean,
okay. I'm gonna say a couple names, and you tell me what they're kind of known for. All right. So I'm gonna say Isaiah Thomas. You know Zeke, right?
Yep.
Magic Johnson, John Stockton, right? Chris Paul, right?
So far, they're all guards.
Right, and they pass. So I'm gonna pass on Micah Parsons.
You can include Killian Hayes on that one now too, because he passes pretty well.
Like what?
Yeah, I'm passing. You know what I'm saying?
You're like,
I'm gonna diss that rock off. You know what I'm saying? I'm passing on Micah Parsons. It's just, and just do what Rachel says. I don't want to be in a rebuild and have to worry about a guy that has off the field issues. I don't want to bring that type of stuff into my locker room. So that's just for me the biggest thing. Now, is he a talented player? Yes. Are there still question marks about his game? Maybe covering down the field. There's still some question marks. Is he a lightning rod to the ball? Yes, he can. He's a heat-seeking missile to the ball. But how much of that is the competition he played with? Because but it's just it's just too much stuff that's hanging out with that off the field character issues. Now you can take a flyer on a guy who has character issues later on in the draft, but I'm not doing that at number 7 or even in the first round. I'm not doing that.
All right. What do you think of Micah Parsons there, Coach Mike?
No.
I think no.
I'm not taking no linebacker in the top 10. I'm just not. That's just not a good thing. And Micah Parsons is just, I don't know if he can't cover, but I'm definitely not taking a linebacker in the top 10 who has deficiencies in his game. Like that's Absolutely. Like I can't do it. Now he might actually be able to cover. Maybe he just was never put in a position to cover.
Right.
But I ain't seen it, so I ain't picking it.
Okay. What do you think, Rachel?
I mean, for a while, I felt like I could look past the off-field issues. After all, they are accusations, not that we've heard anything about them being true. However, I mean, skill set alone, I was super interested in parts. I feel like the plethora of things that I have heard happening just kind of seems like some behavior that he has on repeat. You want to think that a guy like that is just young and he's going to get it all together before he gets to the NFL so that he doesn't ruin his career. But then again, you see so many of these kids come in, treat this with irresponsibility and continue to make the same mistakes that they've been making and take what could be great careers and throw them right down the drain. And that's not what I'm trying to spend a first round pick on, especially in a rebuild. I don't want to be worried that we're taking someone that isn't going to make it through his rookie contract or is going to be out of the league after his rookie contract because he couldn't get his what together. That's right. That's where I'm at.
It's just like that tackle that went to the Titans and then he got traded to Dolphins and now he got cut from the dude didn't play 2 years and he was a starting tackle in the league, but he just couldn't get his crap together because of the off the field stuff.
Exactly. So what do you think, Deion? I know you like Parsons a lot. Yep. At least I've heard that. So
yeah, I'll stick to my thought here. I think Parsons is a 7 talent. If there was no concerns off the field, I would have no issues taking this guy at 7. But my also thing is they're going to get to do the information, the research, and the words Dan Campbell. We don't want turds here. So
right.
Trade back or not, if you don't like him off the field, I'm not drafting him anywhere. 3rd round, 4th round, because I don't want that regardless. I think the talent's there for 7, but if I'm not sold off the field, then there's no reason to even mess with it. There's no reason to even consider it. There's too many other options out there that are known as leaders and things like that. So
I'm going to go back to something Rachel said. Oh, sorry. I haven't answered this one yet. I'm going to try to do that. So if I'm going to go back to something Rachel said, and can you see this guy being somebody that you could re-sign, somebody that fits that culture? And I think this is a no on him. I just do. I think it's too risky. Let's put it that way. Go ahead, Kurt. I'm sorry.
No, I would say no. Put that evil on us.
That evil on us. Now we're going to go to your questions, and Joseph Murdoch has a question. I'm going to throw this one to Deion. How do you feel about Jabril Cox at 41?
I like Cox. Oh gosh. Okay.
Boy,
no. Yeah, someone help me out. Someone give me a pause there.
That's gonna be cut up and put in a video on everybody's channel.
That's gonna be viral.
Just kidding.
I like Cox at 41. I like Cox at 41.
We can't even get it together, man. Sorry, guys.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Di.
Okay,
Rachel, what you got?
Just say it.
I guess it sounds a little bit different if I say it too.
This is terrible.
Man, we got to get this.
We got up on the wrong. Step. Okay,
you like
Jabril
that linebacker
Cox, right?
at number 41.
Okay, Jabril Cox at 41. I would take him. He's a good talent. I had to say his first name. Okay, that guy, LSU number 41. I would pick him. I would pick him at 41. He's a great talented linebacker out of LSU. LSU has some pretty good linebackers. Look at Devin White that was playing for the Buccaneers. So have had a good stable of linebackers at LSU. So that would be one of those guys. If he's available at 41, that's a no-brainer because we need that in Detroit. Really good, fast linebacker who can cover.
On these questions, I'm just going to pick one person from the panel, and then we're going to do them and move on to the next one.
Okay.
So we got about 7 minutes left or 6 minutes left. So I just want to make sure we get these questions in. What's the possibility that the Lions have fallen in love with a QB at 7 like Lance or Fields? What do you think that possibility is, Kurt? 0.
I'm good. Next question.
I'm trying to find the next question. You guys got questions? Put them in the chat. Okay, so we'll just keep going around the room right now on this one. Then, Dion, what do you think the chances that the Lions have fallen in love with a quarterback at 7?
I got to give it some chance because we got John Dorsey. So with him in there, you never know. I mean, he that's his thing. I think the Lions are definitely going to listen to him, being the older guy there. So I think there's a shot. I think though they want to see what Goff can do this year, and in most situations they'll go elsewhere. I would. Oh gosh. Okay. All right.
I'm just going down the road. I was trying to do that. Oh gosh.
Okay.
Did anyone on the panel ever check out Marquez Stevenson from Houston? Great speed. Check him out. Anybody know anything about Marquez Stevenson? You can take this. Marquez Stevenson. You can take this question.
I'm not a huge Marquez guy. I love the speed, but he just didn't seem to be very effective consistently with that speed. I actually like for what he's saying here with speed. I like the man out of Iowa a little bit better. I think his name is Smith Marquise. He plays like the slot, very fast. Well, I love the speed because he can't teach it, but I don't know. He just wasn't as effective as I thought he would be for a guy with that was that fast.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bunch of those guys on the roster already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a whole bunch.
Oh man, this won't die.
Man, it's just keep going.
It won't die.
I
can't even. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Okay,
who do you guys think will take it round 2? Rachel Marie Sports.
No.
What do you think?
So this is a little bit of there's a lot to this question for me because I think it also depends on what we do in round 1. Did we end up trading back? And I think that's heavily what my answer here relies upon. I could see a bunch of different scenarios, but without naming a name, if we don't, I think what we'll see them end up taking on day 2, I'm thinking that's where you'll maybe see them take a linebacker. Depending on who's on the board, that's the position group, at least I feel like they're going to be targeting on day 2.
Okay. That's an awesome answer. Thank you. All right. Latino Leo says, I like Kellen Mond. A lot of people do. What do you think about Kellen Mond? And Mike hasn't had a question. Go ahead, Mike.
I don't know about Kellen Mond. So, Dion, what do you think about Kellen Mond?
Yo, thank you so much. Man, I love me some Kellen Mond, bro. I did some on him like while the season was still going on, and he's been building this hype. So I'm hoping like maybe some like kind of weird rumor gets out there to push him back down. I love me some Kellen Mond. I think the guy is super poised under pressure. The only thing I'm worried about with Mond is that he doesn't seem to be like, he's not like a big flashy player. He's kind of like stays within the offense. He just does really well. He's like very technical. He runs like this all the time. He doesn't ever move his arms. Yeah. I think it's like if he doesn't really have like the big arm. So the Lions may like not want that. He can move a little bit. He can run a little bit. I think he's like, got the leader stuff. Like he's kind of quiet. I think he's like, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Jared Goff. So I could see it, especially if we get more picks.
All right, Kurt.
Who he reminds me of in college? Dak Prescott. Look at Dak Prescott Mississippi State film and look at Kellen Mond at Texas A&M. He kind of think about it. No one was picking Dak Prescott to be a great NFL quarterback. He was look how late he was drafted. So I mean, it was one of those things where the situations kind of just met up where he just got his opportunity and he made the most of it in the NFL. If he can improve his throwing motion and get more technical, I think he will be a great guy one of those guys who can sit and grow and mature under a good quarterback.
I'll take this one. It says, do we double dip at wide receiver in this draft? I think it really depends on if we trade back and we get multiple picks. I think we have a lot of issues, and safety is one of my hugest issues, I think. And linebacker, we need a lot of stuff, so I'm not sure we double dip. Anybody else want to weigh in on this one?
Well, Kuiper has us double dipping if we trade back. Right, he has us going 1 in the third and I think 1 in the second, or either 2 in the third, where we go back to back wide receiver.
I can see 1 in the second and then 1 with our last pick. I can see that, So, Dion, you want to answer this?
I was trying to ignore.
Oh my God, man, this is gonna die, man.
Wow.
Who are your two favorite quarterbacks at Rachel? And do you
The
mean
ones
in the
that we-
draft or ever? Or
The ones that we in this draft, the ones that we can't have. Like I know that we can't have either of the quarterbacks that I like the best. I mean, Trevor
So who
Lawrence.
are those
Like
people you like the best?
Trevor Lawrence is a clear cut. Like I mean, he is the best quarterback in the draft. I think that's hands down. I obviously think anybody would be lucky to be drafting him that was in need of a quarterback. Even if you were in need of a quarterback.
I'm sorry, Rachel. I really am. I can't help it.
PC payload is killing me.
Okay, this stream is one awry, let me tell you.
Okay, this is with far left.
Oh goodness, I'm trying to.
Oh,
We ended up
my
with
God.
Sewell at 7, and in the second, all three of Elijah Moore, Jabril Cox, and Eldon Molden are
Ooh.
available. Who do you
Ooh.
prefer? Who wants to take this one? Just raise your hand. We're gonna go that way. Mike.
Man, I'm taking Elijah Moore.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And why?
Because he's the most talented out of those three. So, you know, and he's a position of need. So, you know, take it.
Oh,
I
like
love this question.
I love this question.
Go ahead.
Who will be the most influential person in the draft room?
Mm.
I
I think it's going to be even, but that's just.
I
the
think
way
it's going to
feel
be
about
kind of a collective. At the end of the day, to be honest with you, it's going to have to be Brad Holmes because
I
he's
agree.
the general manager. He
I
has to
agree.
make the pick. It's
Yep.
going to be on him.
Yep.
It's his onus as the GM.
It's a good question, though.
It's a
It's
good
really
question, but
question.
it has to be no doubt Brad Holmes and what he's the catalyst that's building the team. So it has to be. It has to be it.
Never grow up. You're absolutely right.
You're absolutely correct on that one.
Man,
Why
you know
else
what?
answer my question?
You know what?
You know what? I'm sorry, PC Payload. If that's a legit question, I will ask it.
Right. You know what though?
Okay.
When I think about that, kind of sidebarring on that comment, Kurt, I think Brad Holmes has to sit on the opposite side of the room from Dan Campbell. Because Brad Holmes is like, I'm about to pick him. And Dan Campbell's like, oh, for real? You know what I'm saying? And Brad Holmes he might be like, you know what? I'm not going to pick him. Who you want, Dan?
But Dan Campbell did say, now you have to look at this. This is a direct quote from him. He says, two true alphas know when to defer. He did say that. He said true alphas know because he's an alpha and Holmes is an alpha.
Yep.
He said true alphas know when to go ahead and shut it down. And for it, and in the organization, I know they gave him a lot of help and it's a committee type of thing, but at the end of the day, the onus is going to have to be on Brad Holmes because he's in that position for a reason.
For sure. And just like Dan Campbell has his locker room, Brad Holmes needs to own his draft room.
Yep.
This is going to be the last question of the show. Then we're going to go to final thoughts. Sorry, guys. We've been here over an hour. We usually try to do this for an hour. Joseph Dion, would you grab Cox at 41?
Can't see me.
No, Jabril Cox. Would you
For
take
real.
him at the real answer?
Yeah. No, I was a big. I'm a big Jabril fan.
There you go. Say it first.
Okay, we got to look. I was a big Jabril fan, and we signed Maven, we signed Anzalone. What did I do? Oh,
this is another comment about this.
That is killing me today.
So much.
Wow. This guy.
Okay.
I'll just say yes.
He's saying yes.
Yes, there we go.
Said yes.
He has good talent. He's a talented
Good player.
linebacker.
I don't know for
I don't-
thoughts in it, but it doesn't have to do with Cox.
Bro,
Sam,
I
move the comment.
got you, man. I got you. Dion's gonna take him based on his talent. He's gonna take Jabril out of LSU because of his talent. There it is.
Yes.
There you go. Thank you.
Boom. There it is. That's what we
he
got.
said.
All right. So final thoughts. We're going to start with my man, Coach Micah Jones. Give us your final thoughts.
Hey, Man, final thoughts is post draft. I'm going to get back on OMG's Lions Talk. I know I haven't been on it for a while. I've been kind of doing Detroit Lions Talk lunchtime with my man Jim and Kurt and with Rachel. But I'm gonna start back up on OMG's Lions Talk, and I'm gonna start with my draft post draft analysis. So be looking for that next Friday probably.
All right. Okay, so Rachel Marie Sports, your final thoughts for today. And yeah.
My final thoughts for today is that the moral of the story is that you never really grow up. And I'm as guilty of it. I saw something that's like men never really grow up, but I was the first one laughing at that. I'm immature. Sorry. Anyways, that was a hot topic of conversation. Now my brain's like, what else did we talk about? As always, thanks for having me on the show. It's good to talk Lions football with you guys. Today's show was really, really funny, a little bit off the rails. So it's every Friday, y'all. Come back for more.
Yeah.
Free for all Friday, man. All right.
Yeah.
Dion, we're going to give you a chance to redeem yourself here and give your final thoughts.
Man, it's Friday fun day, we're just having fun.
For sure.
Yeah, so no, appreciate you guys having me. I'm sorry I came in late. Thanks for still letting me in. It was really fun today. Good show. And hey, Lions are taking Micah at 7. You heard it here first.
Micah
I will drop my mic, but
7.
it won't work again.
No mic drops for you though.
Yeah.
Okay.
You usually can't turn it back on. So.
All right. I would give mine today. This was so much fun because yes, I'm immature as well. And I thought this was one of the funniest things I've ever heard. I don't know why, but that's what it's all about. Friday fun day, guys. Free for all Friday. We do whatever we want here at Lions on the Prowl. But it was so much fun. It's good to talk Lions football before the draft, and it's good to kind of have some fun and not be so serious all the time. I thought it was really, really fun and a great show. Appreciate Deanna for being such a good sport about it, and being very cool about the comments today. But you know what? We always wrap up the show with my main man, the man of steel himself, Kurt Steele.
All right, it is Free for All Friday. Great show, great content. And as always, we appreciate you guys coming and joining the show on a Friday. You know the song is Friday, then it's Saturday, Sunday. What? So it's Friday. We had a great time. We appreciate everyone being on the show. Shout out to the panel, Coach Mike Jones, Rachel Marie Sports, as the artist formerly or currently known as Dion Mahomes, because now they didn't change his name, and of course. The man himself, Jim Bordeaux. I thank the whole panel. I had a great time with you all today. It's the weekend. Guess what? We are 6 days. 6 days away from the draft. And you can check out Jim and I over on Belly Up Sports. We're going to be doing the picks 6 through 10 for their live draft coverage. And once you get done here, go over and check out Shawnee J and I over at Die Hard Damn Podcast. That show launched at noon. So once we get done here, go over there and check it out. Shawnee J has some great takes on some of the topics that I haven't talked to him in a while about. So go over there and check him out. He got some definitely get off my lawn takes that you will enjoy over there on today's show. And we just appreciate everyone being here. Hey, subscribe to the channel. Join the family, because we don't have fans, we don't have viewers, we have family, and it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. And you can check us out over at BillyOSports.com. There's a myriad of podcasts over there you can go over there and check out. So go over there and check out those guys out over at Belly Up Sports. They got some talented writers with some great articles, some good time content over there. And check out the DSA members, because we got several on the panel. So you can check out Rachel Marie Sports. She's a DSA member. OMG is Lions Talk Mike Jones. You can, of course, we are in the DSA as well. And of always, go over there and check out Dose of Dion. The kid is a monster. He's a beast with his analysis, and he just puts out great content. So, and one thing I want to say to you, Dion, is that you always got a home right here with us. And we got your back, brother. You know what I'm saying? some people that came for your head, and I got your back, brother, because there's no room for all that. We are all content creators, and we all have several of the same opinions and several of the same angles, and there's no need for all that. But I got your back right here.
No.
You always got a home right
Me too.
here with us.
Appreciate
All
that.
right,
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
so with that being said, it's the weekend. Hey, go out, have some fun, be with your family, be with your loved ones, love one another, and treat others the way you want to be treated. And it is the next week is the last week. I will be wearing my autism acceptance shirts for my son Curtis III, and you can go over and check out sparkforautism.org to see it's a great program about autism and acceptance and what they provide for individuals that's on the autism spectrum over there on that website. So as you go about your weekend and every day of your life, you know what you got to do, baby. You got to bounce up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For the panel, this is Kurt Steele, and we will holler at you real